I make no apology for playing this again, because it is still great. And it's 50 years ago today that Fred and Wilma Flintstone got together. The cartoon, which is now seen as being for kids, originally meant as a sitcom for adults. Jonathan Gray is Associate Professor of Media and Cultural Studies at the University of Wisconsin at Madison and author of Watching with the Simpsons. He says you can still see the impact of the Flintstones on animated TV shows today.
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, think first you've got animation in prime time, taking advantage of the fact that it's animated so that it can do something that live action often can't. I think you see quite a direct line from the Flintstones onwards to Simpsons and Family Guy and so forth. I think, of course, with each iteration it gets more outrageous and perhaps a little more in your face, but there we go.
Let's speak to Katie Steed, who's the creative director of Slurpee Studios. Hello, Katie.
Hi there, how are you doing?
All right, good afternoon. Tell me how brilliant the Flintstones is then.
Flintstones. Yep, they're brilliant. Yep,
why?
Big part of my childhood. Why? I think they just did everything before anyone else. They had really great characters, solid characters that everyone could identify with. They were strong family unit, very funny. They did everything before anyone else.
From my point of view, Wilma Flintstone, Betty Rubble, very hot ladies. But the comedy in the cartoons was great, wasn't it? That was the main thing.
It was slapstick, but also there was enough in there for the kids and enough in there for the adults. Like you said, it did start as a series meant mainly for adults, which had never really been done before.
And tell me how the kind of the animation of the Flintstones has translated into today's TV animations, like Jonathan Gray was saying a second ago.
Yeah, there's no doubt about its influence. I mean, if you look at just a simple thing like the sort of celebrity spoofs that they did, Tony Curtis, who sadly died today, was Stony Curtis in one of their sketches. And The Simpsons do that today, and Family Guy do that today. They're all taking on celebrity culture. Just things like that.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because, Ricky Gervais makes such a big thing about how honoured he was to be asked to be in The Simpsons. I suppose it's the same thing for when Tony Curtis was asked to be in The Flintstones.
Absolutely. It's just, 20 or so years before.
So here's the million-dollar question for you then, Katie. Desert Island cartoon. You're only allowed to watch episodes of one series of cartoons for the rest of your life ever. Which one is it going to be?
Wow, big question. At the moment, I would have to go Family Guy.
You see, I've never seen Family Guy. What am I missing?
Oh, it's brilliant. Family Guy is so different because every episode is just a completely different adventure. And the characters are very well-rounded, and you can't exactly identify with them because they're insane. But it's a very, very good show, Family Guy.
Better than The Simpsons?
That's a big question, but I think The Simpsons has slightly watered down. If you take The Simpsons as a whole thing, it's brilliant. But Family Guy, every single episode is spot on.
So The Simpsons make us a bit nervous about Family Guy.
Yeah, I think they are. I met Matt Groening a few years ago, and he said he's very flattered that Family Guy have ripped off his series. I think it's a little harsh. But if you look at some of the later Simpsons, they're definitely trying to sort of be a little bit edgier, a little bit more Family Guy. So I think they are nervous, yeah.
Well, on the votes today and the texts and the tweets and the comments on Facebook that have come to us today, definitely Family Guy has won it.
Really, yeah.
So I better get on it, hadn't I?
You should. It's a very good show. It's got something for everyone. Not small people, but,
Right.
Anyone over maybe 15, I don't know.
With that little caveat. Katie, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Nice to talk to you again.
Speak to you again another time. Katie Steed from Slurpee Studios.